If you want to know what it's really like starting a YouTube channel in 2025, watch this video. I know most of you who are thinking about starting a YouTube channel have probably consumed tons of the videos out there on how to create a YouTube channel, how to grow your YouTube channel, and so on. I know I did, but the thing is, all these content creators, they do give really good advice. They already have thousands of followers and their videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views. But if you're like me and you're not famous, basically it's very hard to start a YouTube channel because nobody really cares about you. That's the sad truth of it. Let me tell you my experience starting a YouTube channel just a few months ago, what I've learned, what the obstacles I faced, and what I've come to realize. So if you are watching this video, I'd be so grateful if you hit the like and subscribe button because I am such a small YouTuber, it will really make a big difference. So let's get into it. So my name is Dr. Sammy and I just gave birth 6 months ago. And if you want to watch a video on my complicated pregnancy story, I spent 2 months in hospital, which is where the idea to start a YouTube channel came because I just spent hours in bed all day, every day for weeks on end. And at the time I was also doing a master's, so I managed to get the dissertation done, finish most of it before the baby was born. And then naively I was like, oh, I'll just start a YouTube channel in the summertime when the baby's a bit older. Because I do have a little baby, basically I only have 1 hour a day maximum to film, and because it's such a small amount of time, I have to do everything in one take. So I apologize if the quality of this video is not the best. Ooh. I always wanted to start a YouTube channel back in 2009, but I was with a partner at the time and he was not supportive. He was kind of like, if you do a YouTube channel, this relationship is going to end kind of vibe. I shouldn't have listened to him because the relationship ended anyway. But then years after that relationship ended, I didn't even start a YouTube channel. And then I just realized it's really hard to start because the number one thing that was holding me back was fear of people's opinions about me. I just knew people would be like, oh my God, who does she think she is? Or, oh, who is she to start a YouTube channel? Or look at her, she thinks she's so great talking online, that kind of vibe. And I did start this channel 3 months ago, and I know people probably do say that, but the difference now is don't really care. Like, you know, I'd rather do something, try something and fail, and then me, between myself, I'm like, okay, I've given it a shot. I have no regrets. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really care what people think anymore. And to be honest, people don't really care as much as you think they will. I actually wish they did care a bit more because then my channel would be growing. But like, the reality is nobody cares. Everyone has their own issues. Everyone has their own problems. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to do it because I'm like shy or I don't know what people will say about me, nobody cares. Believe me, nobody cares. Just do it anyway. So I think just kind of like social perception of me what was holding me back for the longest time. But then when I started, I actually realized like people only said things about me behind my back. Nobody ever, you know, dissed me to my face. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. As long as you're nice to me to my face, I'm okay. So before I started shooting videos, I'd watch like loads of YouTube content because I love YouTube. For me, I wouldn't sit down and watch Netflix. I'd watch just YouTube videos all the time. I grew up with YouTube. I love YouTube so much. It has taught me so much. It's why I really love YouTube, and I would be so happy if my channel grew and people could learn something from what I have to offer or say as well. So when I did my first videos and I was like editing them, my skills in editing and public speaking were so bad. Even now, they're still pretty bad, but I think they've improved a lot since when I first started. But I realize when you do a YouTube video, you're not just talking in front of a camera. First of all, you have to come up with a content idea. Second of all, you have to script the video. Third of all, you have to film the video and then become a good public speaker to engage people. Then you have to edit, which takes the longest time. And if you don't know anything about editing, like me, you have to learn how to do basic editing skill, which takes a million years. And then you have to like get into like creating thumbnails and a description and use things like keywords and SEOs and hashtags flags, which like I don't come from a marketing or social media background. I'm a medical graduate, like come from like a health background. So all of this was completely new to me. But I was like, do you know what? I'm on maternity leave. I don't have any routine work at the moment, so if I'm not going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I was like, I'll give it a chance. What's the worst that can happen? And I'm just going to tell you the things that I feel starting a YouTube channel helped me in other areas of my life. So I feel my public speaking and my storytelling skills have improved slightly. My public speaking skills were not the best. The thing is, when you're filming content, you have to like talk a bit louder and more exaggerated and have more kind of movement, because if you're just sat like this all stiff, it just doesn't seem natural. And that took me a while to learn. And then in my first few videos as well, I kept looking like away, because it's very weird to kind of maintain eye contact with a camera, and then you can kind of see yourself on screen and like just naturally you want to be like, oh, I wonder how my hair looks, blah blah blah. So it's very hard to look natural as if you're talking to a person. And that's also something that you need to practice a lot on. And I feel when I was looking back at the videos that I filmed in the beginning, if you don't talk extra loud or move a bit much, I don't know why, but like on camera, everything gets muted down. The volume of your voice gets muted down, your actions, your facial expressions, it just gets muted down. And if you see me filming now and like how I talk, it's so different than how I act in real life. Because if I was talking one-on-one the way I'm talking to the camera now, people would be like, or the person I'd be talking to would be like, oh my God, why is she acting like she's on coke? I'd just be like so loud and so in your face. But when you talk on camera, you just have to be yourself, but exaggerated. So if you have watched those videos and they're like, oh, just be yourself, that's bullshit. That's a lie. Nobody wants like, you know, your boring old self. What they really mean is be yourself, but exaggerated, because, you know, basically YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, social media, basically what it boils down to at the moment is how you can capture attention, and you will never capture anyone's attention if you're just being your old boring self. Things I've learned from starting a YouTube channel is improving my public speaking, kind of thinking how I could script content that makes people want to watch more or more interested. I think it's like basically trying to get a toddler with ADHD to, you know, pay attention to you. That's kind of the mindset you have to be when you make videos. I'm not very good at it. Like, you know, I'm not good with the hooks and like the storytelling, but I think for me, if I get better by 1% in each video, I'm happy with that, because there's a lot of things you have to do and it is quite difficult. So if you go into it and you know it's difficult, you know it's like a long process, you won't get disappointed. And another thing about posting videos on YouTube is disappointment. And believe me, I got disappointed so much, because sometimes I put up videos and for me, I'm like, oh my God, these videos are so interesting. I would definitely click on a video like this. The one I have in mind is the review of the Megaformer Pilates, because that would be something I would watch. So when I posted this video, I just assumed it would do really well. And I think that's one of my worst videos. And then I posted something else, which I didn't think would do as well. And I think it's my most viewed video at the moment, which is how I picked myself back up together after I was broke and unemployed and a single mom in my early 30s. So it's kind of interesting. So what you think will work well doesn't necessarily work well with a wider audience, and vice versa. And you will be disappointed. I think when I first started, I just assumed I'd post a couple of videos and everyone would be like, oh my God, this YouTube channel is amazing. I love it. I'm going to share it with everyone. But no, that didn't happen. And to be fair, my early videos, they're not the best, but like your expectations and what really happens have to align so you don't feel disappointed. But because I love creating content anyway, I don't really care at this point. I just like doing it, and because I'm not working, it's kind of a little project for me to have fun with. So that kind of makes it more fun for me. I think if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it. And something else every single person tells you to do is find your niche. And I know for me, from like a branding perspective, that's probably something I struggle really hard with, but it's only because I have so many different interests and so many opinions on so many different topics. I just feel I don't want to be pigeonholed into one particular niche. So in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to do fertility content because I come from a fertility background, and I started doing a bit of fertility videos. But then I was like, I don't want to do just fertility videos because after a while it gets a bit boring. So then I did some content on nutrition and lifestyle because it's something I'm very interested in, and it has helped me improve my lifestyle. And I do have a diploma in nutrition, and I use it like for a lot of different things. And then because I am Egyptian, but I grew up in Ireland and I'm married to someone outside my culture, I have a lot of opinions on, you know, third culture kids, intercultural relationships and all that kind of stuff. So I just have too many interests to kind of pick one interest that I really like. And I know from, you know, a branding perspective, that's not good, but feel I wouldn't be enjoying it if I just had to do one specific topic day in, day out. I just get too bored and quit. So just to keep me going, I'm not going to pigeonhole myself into any niche, and this is my channel, take it or leave it. So another thing that I started to realize after I started my YouTube channel was the way my brain thinks about consuming content. So before I started a YouTube channel, I'd just be like, you know, scrolling, watching, whatever. But now, because I'm trying to experiment with different thumbnails and different hooks and all that stuff. So if I like scroll and then I see something that I like and I click on it, at the back of my head, I'm like, there's like 3 other videos before this one with the same topic. What made you click on this? I've become more analytical basically, and I become more analytical of people's content as well. So this didn't happen before, but I think it's because I spent so many hours editing my own content. So I just realized a lot of things that I hadn't before. So when I edit my own content, I just realized I have a lot of annoying habits when I talk. So when I'm nervous, I kind of go like that, which is annoying, and I have to cut so much of it out. So I try not to do it because, as I said, I don't have much time to edit, so I just want to make the editing process as easy as possible. And then and the pauses between words. It's so hard to edit that out, so I try to avoid doing it because it just makes things easier. But then when I'm watching other people's content, I really notice when someone's like, between words or little tics that they have, which I hadn't noticed before, even though I was consuming their content for years. But just because when you edit, you just zone in on things that you wouldn't have noticed before. So that's kind of interesting. You're just more analytical. You're more aware of what you're consuming. If you like a storytelling technique or a hook or a thumbnail, you're just more analytical and critical and be like, oh, how could I incorporate it into my kind of content? So that's an interesting thing that I've learned from this short 3-month process. I would say the con though is, because the way I create content personally, I have 1 hour in the morning and I have to film as much as I can in 1 hour, and then throughout the day or whenever I can do a little bit of editing. So I can never sit down for 1 full day or 1 full hour and do everything at the same time. So I just feel like it kind of takes over my life because I'm just, feeding the baby, taking him out for a walk, and then when he sleeps, I'm like, okay, edit, blah, blah, blah. And because it's just at the back of your head the whole time, I feel it has started to consume my life. I did take a break for a while because I was like, this is just way too much. Another bad thing about creating content on social media, for me anyway, was at the beginning, I was obsessed with seeing how my reels did, how my video did, who subscribed to me, how many subscribers I had, and I was constantly just checking my phone, and my screen time doubled in that month. And I just realized it's become so problematic. So now I'm like, I'm not going to check anything anymore because it doesn't really make a difference, and I'm just spending so much time on my screen. I'm not living anymore. And I just feel if I don't nip it in the bud, I'll either have to stop making content just for my sanity, or I'll have to really control my screen time. So that's something that's a little bit hard to, kind of master, because when I worked in the lab, I just go to work, I'd finish, and that's it. You don't bring your work home with you. But because this is kind of like, you know, you're just shooting content wherever you go. It's very easy to make every part of your life a bit of work as well, and it's just not enjoyable. So that's just my take on my YouTube experience in the last 3 months. So that's just what I've learned as a very, very new, very small YouTube content creator. This might be a different type of video than the other videos out there, but like for me, I'd actually want to hear someone's experiences who has just started and like realistically is struggling like the rest of us. So I hope you like this video, and comment where you are on YouTube, how many subscribers you have, what your struggles are, and what you found very useful about creating a YouTube channel. So until next time, bye.